Welcome to Action Coaching. Certainly we thank God for you being with us on another Wednesday night for Action Coaching. We got some exciting things to share with you, but we want you to know first of all that Action Coaching is designed to coach the God-given potential in you, out of you, so you can live your best life now. Everybody needs a coach in life. All of us have to have somebody to help push us and drive us to the next level. And that's the purpose of Action Coaching. I want you to let your friends, your neighbors know about Action Coaching so that they can tune in each week and be a part of these exciting Action Coaching sessions. Now, Action Coaching is designed that we will just give you coaching insights as to how you can deal with the things that are in your life. Some of it may be helpful right now. Some of it may be helpful down the line. Some of it may point you to even initiate getting further coaching on it. But we're excited about the opportunity to talk to you on today. I want to talk about the present and uncertain future. Now, in 2020 was the beginning of the COVID-19 virus. Of course, for a part of the time in 2020, everything was shut down. People were indoors except for the necessary workers, the healthcare workers, and of course the police, fire department, and on and on. But for the bulk of us, we were shut indoors as the world was trying to deal with a virus that they had never seen before. So in essence, the world got caught unprepared, just as human beings got caught unprepared. And so our present and our future was a little shaken. In other words, people didn't know what was I going to do in the present. And then, of course, if you can't pretty much decide what you're going to do in the present, you surely don't know what the future holds for you. And so everything was uncertain to an extent. Now that we're in the situation where the world is seemingly now to open back up, people are acting as if, and I understand, that we've been locked up in a cave, or well, maybe we get the idea of what it was like to be in Noah's Ark, as the scripture talks about it, where it rained 40 days and 40 nights, and the people that were in the ark could not come outside. So you can imagine the experience they were having when they were able to come out of the ark. It's as if we've been in a long winter and it never seemed to end. And people are now venturing back outside. And the amazing thing about people venturing outside, they expect things to go back to normal. But the normal we knew is never coming back again, because we're living now in a new normal, and even in a sense, a better time. We've learned things. New inventions have come along. Isn't it amazing that the drug companies in less than a year were fast-tracking, inventing drugs that were able to deal with the virus that we now have? But how does that apply to you and I? How does that apply to people in general? Well, first thing, as I said in one of the other action coaching sessions that I was talking to a pastor, and he talked about how it was one COVID-19, but it was correction-19. So in the first place, for a lot of us, we have seen that some of the things we thought were going to last or never change in our life can be shaken all of a sudden and cause us to even wonder which way we are going to go. And just as the world was shaken up and the world had to make new changes, but they were necessary changes because society and human life was continuing to move on. And so things had to change. Now, what are some of the things that I saw out of this situation that we can apply to our everyday life? Now, first of all, I believe in life that we have to learn adaptability, meaning that at any given time, we have to adapt to changes, but that's not a bad thing. Adaptability is a good thing. It helps us to grow, to explore new adventures, to become even better at certain things. Let's give you one that maybe a lot of people struggle with, is as you grow, I won't say grow older, but as you age in wisdom, you understand that along with aging, you got to adapt. I gave this testimony one time when I was talking to a group of young people. When I was in my 20s, they could bring me an order pizza, and after I order pizza, I could eat some M&Ms, and after the M&Ms, I could probably have some ice cream, and along with all of that, drink all kind of different sweet juices, and I just felt fine. That was in my 20s. But I found out as I age in wisdom, if I tried to do those same things, probably what they're going to have to do after I finish is call 911, because it's going to be a medical emergency. Now I'm saying some of the things you don't have to stop, but you got to learn how to adapt. And we see it in our society. The workplace is adapting now. This probably is going to be the time that more people work at home than ever before. They're changing the way that they do business. We were used to a lot of people being in these high office buildings, but those days are gone, and probably the office buildings are now going to turn into apartments and a host of things. It's not a bad thing. That's a necessary thing, because just as the world adapts to everything, so do you and I. We might have to adapt and do some things that'll work all of the time. A lot of people would say because of COVID-19, I couldn't exercise like I used to. But then when you look around, there are so many things that will allow you to do the same thing in your home. But it's all about adaptability, because adaptability helps us to understand that whatever situation comes, we still got to live. And we can't live the way of the past situation. We have to live a new way in this particular situation. So adaptability is necessary. I'm thankful that I learned early in life that being adaptable and making the necessary changes can help move my life forward. Trying to stay one way all of the time is not the answer, because the world as we know it is moving at warp speed, and we've got to adapt and change with the times. So it's important that in our present, to ensure future success, we've got to adapt. I can almost guarantee you, I'm not saying I'm a prophet, but I'm just simply reading the signs of the time. There will be another virus that we don't know anything about. And after that, there'll be another virus. There have been viruses since the time I came into the world, and even before others that lived before me. But in each generation, each time something comes up, the world, the people in the world, certain sects of people have shown the ability to adapt and deal with the situation at hand. So in coaching, one of the things the coach first have to teach you is how to adapt. Meaning that everything is not going to be one way when you go at it, but still you got to accomplish the same goal. So adaptability is necessary. Number 2 is COVID-19 is making a lot of society norms as we know it be more creative. Yes, and not only society got to be creative, but we as people have now got to be more creative. Don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you about creativity.
You're gonna have the time of your life. Come book your get breeze on your skin. The sunshine so relaxing. Come on and book your trip right now with Tiff Caribbean Resort. Relax and have a sip. Make your reservation today. Sending joy and laughter.
I left off talking about creativity as a result of the time that we're living in and the virus we just come through. Then people had to be more creative to get things done. The world had to be more creative. Business had to be more creative. Sports teams had to be more creative. The government had to be more creative. And all of the norms that we knew all of a sudden had to be more creative, because no matter what was going on, they still had to get the job done. Creativity in life is a joyful thing because it helps you to explore and learn different ways that certain things can be done, and they can be done more efficiently. They can be done and found out the fact that you can enjoy them in a better way. And so now is time for people to be more creative. Now, being creative is not about somebody trying to drive you to be creative. But to be creative is you got to have some self-initiative. Mind, we living in a time where people seem like now they have no self-initiative. Even people that can be working a job, they can just do it the same way every day and never look at the job and say, how can I be more creative in this job? How can I bring something new that would allow me to get promoted, or perhaps the company would pay more money for what I had the ability to create. I remember when I was working at a certain potato chip company, that every year at that particular time, people could get bonuses if they came out with more creative ways to save the company money on their product, or the cooking of the product, or the shipping of the product. And of course, the people that were creative and had some initiative were striving for that bonus. And as a result of them being creative, I found out that usually they promoted and they weren't working the same job that some of the rest of us were stuck in. So now's the time to be creative. Got to have some initiative in this time we're living in. The same old is not going to work during this time. That if you want to stand out, if you want to adapt, if you want to be guaranteed about the uncertain present and future, then you got to be creative. Some of us need to start making sure that we're creative enough that if something else happened, we've got things already in place to be effective during that time. That's one of the desires I've always had in the ministry is every time, how can we get better? How can we get more creative? How can we move further down the road, even though everybody else is not there yet? But how can we get there first? How can we explore new things? Because we don't know how the times are going to change. And so creativity is a part of the process. Every human being can be creative. Even when I grew up, think about how creative my parents were. And now we as parents have to be creative, and the kids are even more creative. I mean, it took a skill to make. When my mom and dad were not able to buy so much food, and of course it was 5 of us eating, but my mom learned how to prepare a meal that it seemed big on Sunday, but then that same meal lasted all the way through the week. And I can say to you with a surety that even though then we were eating a combination of the same thing, it was so creative that we thought it was a different meal every day because they learned to create with the things that they had. What are you creating now? Where's your creativity? Are you looking to do the same old thing? Think about how society has created. I was talking with someone, and you know, me and my family, when they were growing up, then Friday night was the movie nights. And then of course after the boys got grown, me and Mary would go to the movies on Friday night. But now you look around with the different streaming services, now they got first run movies, they're streaming live if you pay for the subscription. They got a host of movies that are being made every day that if you are a part of the different streaming services, you can look at the movie at your own leisure. You can hit a button and stream it in your home, cook your own popcorn, sit there in the comfort of your home and enjoy the movie. But that's what we call creativity. So if we're going to adapt, we're going to be more creative, because being creative is how we're going to move ourselves further into the future. And creativity is an important part of that. I want to stress to you that everything in the world is being more creative, and we've got to be more creative in order to live in this society. So creativity is an important part. The last thing I want to leave you with is COVID-19, the virus that existed, made people think more about something they didn't think as much about, but they needed to do it all the time. Now, millions of people have been lost to this virus. And all of a sudden, people had to think about just living through the day. Not whether you're going to plan for the vacation next year, but just living through the day, because all around people were contracting this disease. Some of us were blessed that we were quarantined and we came out fine. But there are millions of other people who were not so fortunate. And I'm quite sure people are saying everywhere all over the world, if I just had one more time to tell them that I love them, one more time. I was going to give them a gift next year, but if I had to do it all over again, I would give it right now. So what I'm saying is, it's time to think about enjoying the day, living in the moment, understanding that all you got is right here and right now, but you can take advantage of it. Now, I know some people say, well, I got to plan for things down the line. That's true to a sense, but then I like to say, well, what if you don't make it down the line? You don't want to skip the moment that you have. And so we're learning now in this new normal, in this new environment. Let's appreciate one another. Let's do things right now. I hear testimony of people saying, well, due to this virus, I hadn't seen my parents in a long time. Well, wait a minute now. Before the virus came, you should have been seeing your parents as often as you wanted to then. But it's helped us to make the shift. It's helped us to understand that the present and the future are uncertain times, but there are times that we can adapt to, we can be creative in, and we can live in the moment and live as if every day is an enjoyable day. In coaching consistently, and we learn this especially in sports, that you got to stay focused on the day in front of you, not the day down the road. Now, of course, we understand that there will be days down the road, but if you don't stay focused on the day in front of you, you will miss something very, very valuable, and that's the day in front of you. Certainly, I've enjoyed sharing with you these 3 things concerning this coaching session, and I hope that you'll begin to apply them to your life, because I can guarantee you, if you listen to a good coach, everything is going to change. I'll be right back to talk to you.
Striving to be great, and whatever you do, it's a good thing. All of us should do that. Being the children of God, we should want to be the best employee, the best mother, the best wife, the best everything. So there's nothing wrong with that. But when we're striving to be best, be great at the cost of others, then that is what is wrong in the sight of God. So I want you to keep that in mind. Yes, you want to strive to be great. You want to be great in whatever you say, whatever you do, in all of your accomplishments. But we must remember that we cannot do it at the cost of other people, and nor can we do it with malicious motivation. That means spiteful motivation. You don't want to be great so you can communicate a message to somebody to show them that you overcame. You want to be great as a child of God, because that's what God will have us to be.
Welcome back to Action Coaching. Certainly thank God for you being with us on tonight. I want to sit down and encourage you to support us here on Action Coaching. We're endeavoring to do bigger and better things and to make Action Coaching more effective. And then there'll come a time that we could bring different guests to Action Coaching to share with you and get some coaching insight from other people that are great coaches in the field. But we need your financial help to be able to do those things with excellence and to do them in a way that will be effective. So we want you to go to the link in my bio. There are a host of ways you can give to Action Coaching and support us here as we continue to move forward with more coaching sessions. I certainly thank God for your financial support. I certainly thank God for you standing with us, and make sure that Action Coaching is always an event you tune into each and every week, because you don't want to miss any coaching session. Well, the Lord bless you. I've certainly enjoyed talking to you. And as I do each and every week, I want you to share the word with a friend and keep the word in action.